My name is Nick Layton, and for the next few minutes, you are exactly where you want to be. This was originally recorded March 9th, 2021. Last time, we looked at knowing your win rate, which in turn should increase your revenue. Now, there are two tactics you can use to increase your closure rate. The first is to have better qualifying leads coming in. The trouble with marketing is that a percentage of it is wasted, and the biggest problem is that we don't know which percentage. Depending on what data you have in your company, you may be able to delve a little deeper. The more we grow a company, the more lead sources we have, and ever more complex it becomes to measure what really is working. And even with the same lead source, there will be variations over time. Now you're beginning to get a good idea of why marketing is such a full-time role. A lot of attention is needed on it. But let's look at this simply for a moment. For example, you may just know that some leads are not as good as others. As an example, many people share with me that Yelp brings in leads, but these leads are only looking for the cheapest solution or are not responsive to follow-ups. So the question is, if we could continue this theoretical example, do you get enough good Yelp leads to make advertising on Yelp worth it? There's no point even counting the bad leads. Review where your leads come from and think about what leads you think are of good quality and which are not. Which of your marketing mix do you maybe need to remix? Maybe within the marketing tactic there is a better way to target. For example, if you are paying for online social media marketing, you may be able to further define where or whom your ads appear to. And this works in two directions. You may actually get as good leads coming from a better price if you open up and broaden your targeting. A quick example about timing. Back in the mid-90s, I was a marketing manager at a large international technology company. For our one-page magazine ads that we placed every month, as we began looking at the leads coming in and measuring, we discovered that we had a far better return coming in during months where there was a physical exhibition. It didn't take long to recalculate our magazine ad spend, to double down on the exhibition months and reduce or eliminate in other quieter months. Now, I introduced this section by saying there were two tactics behind increasing your closure rate. The second is qualifying leads. As we briefly covered in the last video, there are three types of leads. Open leads, the leads you're working. Closed lost leads, the prospects that did not and will not purchase from you. And then the closed won leads, that's your past and present customers. We want to move leads quickly as efficiently from the first group, that open leads, so we can spend the maximum effort marketing to the right prospects. To do this, we need to qualify our leads and remove the ones that are not good prospects into the closed loss bucket. Most business owners believe they can sell to anyone. The reality is not everyone is a good prospect. For example, at the most basic level, your prospect must have the funds to purchase your product or service and the means to transfer those funds to you. There are also some pretty universal qualifying factors that apply to a lot of businesses, such as speaking the same language. But I'm sure there are more that apply to your business. If you wrote a list of qualifiers for your product or service, what would they include? Your prospect has to have a need, the budget, and authority to buy. So let's expand this list and note them. It's going to be unique to your business and maybe unique to an individual product or service that you offer. Another example for me, I can only sell to business owners who actually want to move their business forward. If they're happy with the status quo, then that business owner is just not a good prospect. You can get a little personal here. If you run a small business and have to get to know your customers, then be honest with yourself. There may be some types of people you don't want to work with. The bottom line, think of it this way. If that person called you and you saw their name on the phone, would you want to answer that call? Now, you should have a list of qualifiers. Next up, what's your desire? Do you want to pre-qualify your leads? And if you do, how do you want to achieve this? Do you need to add a form to your website that asks certain questions? For example, asking a prospect what budget they have. Or do you need to provide templates or scripts to your frontline workers or your sales team? I encourage you to think about that. Write down your qualifiers and then implement a plan into your business. Summary. Sharpen your leads so you are only spending time and money on the ones that convert. And number two, pre-qualify your leads. Have a plan and implement that into your business. Next time, we'll turn inwards and we'll focus on ourselves. If the best leads are coming to us, how do we close the maximum number? And if you like the tips and tricks here, check out our new More Revenue worksheet. I'll link to it below. It's absolutely amazing. And secondly, do me a small favor, like and share. My name's Nick Layton, and I wish you passion, profit, and happiness.